Hey everybody, 5thHorseman here, playing more Kerbal Space Program, and you may recognize this as a Kethane Driller. I got Kethane Drillers down here, got a Kethane tank here, got a bunch of solar panels and a place to live here. There's a converter here with a regular fuel tank up here, so we can store the fuel. Here's what's going to lift that fuel up. Ignore this stuff around here, I'll get to that in a minute. This is what's going to lift the fuel off of Moho's surface. To, ignore this for a minute, this Kethane base that will be orbiting that has another pad in it. These 6 guys are our prospector probes. If you remember from the Minmus thing, I had good luck once I've scanned for all the Kethane, landing these guys around and then finding nice flat areas. So I'm going to do that again, but I'm bringing these guys with me. And then in the middle of the stack here is my Kethane and my ore scanners. Now I'm not bringing up any ore things yet, but who knows, maybe I will in the future, and I figured, well, why not throw it on there? It'll give a nice balance to this guy as well. To get this guy into orbit around Kerbin, we've got these. Got solid rocket boosters that I have knocked down to 70%. I did do one quick test launch. I didn't quite get it into orbit, but I think it would have made it fairly easily. And these guys pushed it well past atmospheric efficiency, so I knocked them down to 70%. These guys here are going to lift us up pretty much to orbit, then we're going to kick them off. These guys are going to take us to Minmus. We're going to refuel at Minmus, and then we're heading off to Moho. That's the idea. It looks pretty freaking crazy, and it pretty frickin' is. But the people who are going to Moho is we're going to take one veteran, then we're going to take HM, which is me, and we're going to take Waffles. Crew is still not around. We don't know where he is. I think he's in the infirmary. But these are the 3 people who are going to Moho. So I think it was it Waffles or Kernky? I don't remember which one said not to go with Jeb. So you're not going with Jeb. I'm not guaranteeing these guys are going to stay at Moho, but they're the ones who are going there. So we are going to we're going to launch this guy right now. Okay, one thing I have to do on this guy is balance all on both the liquid fuel and the oxidizer, because I don't have any fuel lines, because like all my other Kethane operations, these fuel things are full, and they're needed to get us off the planet. So, that's the only abusing of this thing I do. We're going to crank up the volume, and this is crazy. In 3, 2, 1, launch. Okay, pretty good looking launch profile. These things here will hopefully keep the thing straight. It was rotating a bit on my first launch, so I added them on here. They should be able to keep it from rotating and also keep it from veering too far off the center. Atmospheric efficiency is already up to almost 90%, so it looks like I am going to have to throttle down my main engines still, but that's not a big deal. Once we get to, say, 98 or so, I will do that. We're going to do the fairly standard... There we go. I just knocked it just down a tad, and now it's no longer going up too much above 95. But anyway, we're going to do the standard at 5,000 meters. I'm going to rotate it. Give myself a little bit of nudge in the easterly direction, as we like to do. These solid rocket boosters, because I've knocked them down, they're going to last a little bit longer, which really isn't that bad of a thing when it comes down to it. Okay, I'm just nudging it over just a little bit. We're going to follow that as we go. We're over atmospheric efficiency, but we're almost out of our solids. So as soon as they get down to like the last pixel here on the left, cranking up the volume, and goodbye. And because our atmospheric efficiency is now going to drop fairly significantly, but not a big deal. The solids did their job. They gave us the boost at the beginning. The main thing now is I got to make sure I don't cut over too far before we get a decent apoapsis here. When the apoapsis is at 20, I want to be at 45. Things are looking really good, though. Half of our fuel is gone. But as you know, the early parts of this thing are the worst. I'm a little bit behind the curve. Not a big deal. would love to kick the what they're called. Let's see, I should be done at 30 by now. I would love to kick the nuclear engines on earlier, but I didn't set it up that way. Shouldn't be a big deal as long as I don't hit space, which is what killed my first test flight. I hit the space bar when I was trying to select multiple tanks, because that's what you do in Windows when you want to select multiple things. Is actually, that's shift. I don't know why I hit the space bar. I was stupid. But we're looking pretty good. We're almost at apoapsis of 50,000. We are cruising along here. We're chewing through our fuel. When the apoapsis gets to 75, I'm cutting the engines here. Because we got to save every drop of fuel. Whoops, 75. Okay, now I want to select him and then do Alt and select that and go in. Oh, I can't do that because TAC fuel balancer is running. Let's unbalance these. There we go. It's not like we're in a hurry or anything. Okay, and do the same thing with this guy. In. No. Stop. Out. Out. Okay, and then last but not least, this guy. Into him. In. And these guys are done now. We don't need them anymore. Goodbye. Let's also activate our nuclear engines. Let's turn TAC fuel balancer back on. And what are we? A minute and some odd from apoapsis. Our apoapsis is staying good. We have a lot less control than I would like, but not super concerned about that. The hardest thing is going to be docking this thing to the refueler, and I might even use the up and down refueler to go back and forth to him. But the way I set these things up, if you'll see, I've got the radial decouplers and then this thing here, so that once I unload this ship and reload it, these won't be here anymore, which is kind of a cool thing. I'm trying to keep the part count down on everything I possibly can. That's why I also put radial decouplers here, just specifically to strut that together. It's kind of crazy. Now, you'll notice it says we have 1,000 delta V. We actually have a lot more than that because it's only counting, I think, the fuel in these two tanks, whereas there's fuel up in this tank too. So we actually have more than 1,000 delta V, which, if you know anything about Moho, if you know anything about Minmus, that's plenty. So, what are we at? We're at 30 seconds away. I think we should possibly crank up the speed here. Say goodbye to those. Got a decent amount of burning here to get our orbit, but not too much. Yeah, we could have used a little more torque, to be honest, but that's what happens when you're tugging along a bunch of stuff. We are still, if you want to look at Kerbal Alarm Clock, we're still 21 days away from the Kerbin to Moho window. I wanted to do this early so I could set up my my transfer orbit faster, because I'm not sure launching from Minmus to Moho, it might be kind of weird. We might have to do some weird plane changes and things like that, considering they're both at weird angles relative to their parent bodies, and they don't even have the same parent body. So that could be kind of fun. So I figured better earlier than later. That's a pretty cool shot. Can't avoid doing that. We've almost got an orbit here. I'm actually a little bit worried about my delta V now, but I really shouldn't be. Once we get in orbit, I think I'm gonna transfer the fuel manually, but it's about perfect, really. We'll just do 77 by 77. There we go. Pretty sweet. Okay, now what we can do here is we can turn off tech fuel balancer. In theory, we won't need it for the rest of the mission, but we can put all the fuel into this guy, and that will up. It should up his delta V, and it didn't, which is a little disturbing. There we go, 1251. Oh, that's plenty to get to Moho. Or Moho. It's definitely not plenty to get to Moho. That's plenty to get to Minmus. Yeah, we've basically now just got to do the standard. You've seen me get to Minmus so many times, I'm not going to make you do that. I made you watch the... Oh, this is like the worst. I'm going to wait until Minmus gets up to here. But so that I can burn from here. But you've seen me do this dozens of times. There's absolutely no need to watch me do it again. I will meet you when we're at Minmus. Okay, I've completed the burn. It took a couple minutes. It was a lot quicker than when I was trying to get Jeb up there, mostly because I have 3 engines. And the reason I have 3 engines, which a lot of people will say, why do you have 3 engines on there? Any more than 1 is a waste. And you're somewhat semi-right. However, every engine you add significantly cuts down on the burn time, and it doesn't significantly add to the weight of huge things like this. But also, I needed 3 to be able to land all 3 of these things on Moho with a higher thrust-to-weight ratio than 1. Or Moho. Yeah, Moho. So I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't die as I tried to land this thing. So, we're looking pretty good. We're down to 322 meters per second, but I think that's enough to circularize around Moho here. Minmus. I keep saying the wrong words. My words is wrong. We do need to... There it is. Yeah, I need to get my... Somewhere out here. Oh, I hate it when that happens. Somewhere out here, I need to fix my north-southness. So let's actually do that here. Let's see what happens if we do a normal up. That's pretty much perfect. What if we do a radial, I think, inward? That's pretty much perfect right there. Oh, I hate it when I do that. I held down shift for some reason. Okay. Well, I didn't significantly... Well, I probably did. Let's... Yeah, see, this is where my thing is now. So we need to go radial out now. I think. No. I don't want that. There we go. Okay, I almost want to leave you, like, not have you have to watch this, but I find it instructive, so I figure maybe you will too. I'm basically, let me zero in on Minmus here. I'm setting up my maneuver so that it will be as close as possible to in the orbit I want it to be in when I get to Minmus. So that it saves a lot of delta V once you get there. See, because this is going to cost me like 16, and then this will probably cost me like 180 or so to get into orbit. Once I get into orbit, I'm cool, because I can if I run out of fuel, I can always send the tug to him. And see, this second node is going to cost 158. So yeah, see, the 2 of those together is enough. Whereas if I just burned when I got here, I would still have enough, but probably not very much. So yeah, this is gonna be close to fuel wise, but as long as we get into orbit, we're good. So yeah, as I said before, I will see you when we get to Minmus. Okay, we're coming in here. I just wanted you to see this. We have 74 meters per second of fuel in the tank. We also have We are, what, 33 meters per second away from our target. We actually have to be facing them in order to do this burn correctly. But we are going to we're going to match orbits with our target and get close enough to rendezvous and possibly even dock. I don't think I'm going to try to dock with this thing, to be honest with you, because it is so clunky. You know, it'll be easy to dock once I've dropped all this stuff off, and then I can do the actual fuel runs and everything. But just getting this thing docked the way it is crazy. So I think I've already actually been to this ship, and I've put enough fuel in the ship that normally picks fuel up and takes it back to Minmus. And so I think once I get close enough, I'm just going to undock that one, dock it up here, and then transfer all the fuel to it. So he has full tanks. So let's see. I put up an alarm here. We're actually 6.5 minutes away. It's 31 meters per second, so it's going to be a tiny little burn to get coordinated. But I might as well speed things up here. Oh, we are in physics mode now. There he is. That's pretty sweet. Okay. So, yeah, we're just gonna... Let's go ahead and do it right now. Slow ourselves down a bit. This is just so cool. Now we're basically at a standstill compared to him. And all we're going to do here is actually make that be a standstill. That's good enough. And then we are going to aim ourselves at him. And then we're going to switch over there, and we're going to take this ship here and bring it over here and fill up our tanks, all three of them. 52 meters per second left in the tank. That's pretty sweet. I think that's really cool. That's the closest I've ever been to not having enough fuel, but actually still having enough fuel. Okay, go ahead and hold this heading. Let's hop on over to this guy. I don't know who's going to be flying this thing, but let's undock. And... oh, wrong ship. There we go. Jeb. Oh, that's right. Jeb was running the show here. Jeb is who's going to fill us up here. Where is my ship? There it is. Okay, so we got to go. We got to aim ourselves this way. Whoa. Just give it just enough thrust to... oh, I made a rookie mistake. I looked at... there we go. I was looking at the ship. Also didn't have my... looks like we're off center, but we're not. We got fuel here, fuel here, fuel here, and fuel here, and no fuel here. So we shouldn't be off center. Yeah, we're not off center. Probably just a funky looking... okay, we're going to turn our CS on. Again, I have no lights on any of these guys, but if I look at it from this way, everything looks fine. Oops. Oh, that's kind of cool looking. Let's see. Chase mode. Go ahead, camera freak out. There we go. As I get closer, I should be able to see the docking port. There we go. Everything looks fantastic. We want to be aimed at the docking port. Now, what did we learn last time when we did our RCS maneuvers here? We want to put our yellow marker just beyond that. I don't know if you noticed, I've made my nav ball bigger to make things like this easier. 1.6 is a very reasonable approach speed, I think. But just in case, we're hitting F5. I need to remember to put lights on my things. Okay, yeah, we're definitely... There we go. Yeah, we're basically perfectly lined up. I'm going to slow it down to 1 here. And then we're just going to watch them dock. Feels like we're not right. We are not right, but we're close enough. I have turned off SAS. It looks like we actually bounced away. There we go. it'll eventually knock up. Wasn't the best docking ever, but it gets the job done. There we go. Good job. Nicely done, Jeb. Okay, we're gonna fill up these fuel tanks, and we will be back with you when we're at the next step. Okay, we are full up. You will see we have 4478 meters per second of delta V, which seems like it's not enough, and it might not be, but we do have fuel in these guys if we really need to. We really need that fuel. It's going to be tight. It's actually going to be tighter than I thought, and I am considering the option of filling this guy up with fuel and bringing him along for the ride. I'm also considering the option of bringing up just a fuel tank on a docking port and putting it right here to give him an extra fuel tank's worth of fuel. And I think that's probably the better route, is to do that. I can also then bring up, there was something else I forgot. Not necessarily forgot, but wish I had now. And I do not remember offhand what it is. But I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do a little mission to bring that up and just stick that on top there, and as soon as it's gone, I can just chuck it, and I can leave it in interplanetary space. But this guy's basically ready to go to Moho. The only thing that he needs now is a Moho to go to. So let's go back to Jeb here. Jeb needs to redock with this guy. And I just remembered I want that station also to redock with him. So let's control from here. Set Jeb as a target. And it's this way. Yeah, I'm not big on reaction wheels apparently on my ships. So everything's a little bit less. But, however, we have successfully gotten this guy up to Moho, which was the mission parameters currently. So we have successfully completed a mission with almost no problems, which is kind of crazy. So let's go ahead and get to Jeb here. Let's set this as our target again. Can I see his... Nope, I can't see it. So let's go ahead and... aimed kind of this way. Get up to 1.5 seemed to be a pretty good one, but we'll go up to 2.0 because we're a lot lighter now than we were before. So we should be able to slow ourselves down a lot easier with RCS. But we've earned the right to unlock a tech node. So we're going to do that, and then that's it for the... Come on, show me the... There it is. Set as target. Okay, we should probably slow down a little bit. Let's slow down to 1.0. And let's see, we're aimed here. We're definitely going the wrong direction. So we want to be heading towards the docking port, while still aimed in the direction that makes the docking port central. And that should be pretty much perfect. Pretty much. Slow down to 5 meters per second. And look at that, like a glove. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. This guy is missing some fuel from his fuel tanks. Yeah, we're going to have to go down and probably pick up another load of Kethane off the surface. I'll do all that off camera. You've seen me do it before. If you really want to see it, go look at the end of last season. I did it like 4 times. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a new load of fuel up here so that this guy's perfectly full. I'm going to bring up another thing. I'll probably do that off camera too, because all it is just launching a fuel tank. Ooh, big deal. Bring that up here, and then we'll be ready to start planning our actual mission. So hopefully next episode we are going to do that. Let's go ahead and head over to the Space Center here. Are you excited? I'm excited. We brought no science with us, but we'll be, and we've actually, I just thought about it, we brought no didn't even bring an antenna with us, so I might actually attach some science and stuff and an antenna to that fuel tank, because I can take them off with an EVA'd Kerbal and stick them on there. That's one nice thing about Kerbal attachment system, is it lets you make up for bad planning. Okay, so we get one more node here. What do we need? I think we want more science, but I don't think there's any more science to get. The Gigantors would be really nice. We've already got this Moho operation in tow here. Cupola would be really nice. I kind of wanted that for the base, but I'm just living without it. These are Clampetron Senior. That's kind of a big deal, but not anymore, really. These big ones, that would have been nice. Winches would be nice. The rest of this stuff, I mean, it's nice to have, but I don't think it's all that necessary. We could always buy another plane thing. I've been wanting this Canard, because I think that'll help. And there's the Rapier engine. Don't really need these. This is all stuff. I kind of wanted these for my and these little dinky things for my landers, because they're over fueled. My landers are, because the smallest fuel tank gave them like, I don't know, 2,500 Delta V or something crazy like that. Let's see, landing legs, drogue chutes. I mean, eventually I'm gonna want those, but yeah, that's kind of a Moho thing, and we're not really going to Moho right now. So I think what I want the most out of all of this stuff is Gigantors. So boom, we just earned that. Okay, the next successful mission will be launching ourselves to Moho. Once we have a ship that we like that is on a intercept course with Moho, I am going to consider that a successful mission. We'll be able to unlock another node. When we unlock these Gigantors, what do we got? A huge battery? Nope, just another probe core. And there's a huge battery, and oh, that'll be nice. That'll be really nice to have. No more reliant on solar panels. But yeah, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely, as usual, enjoyed playing it. I am 5thHorseman, and when we go to Moho, I will be here, and I'll be talking at you later.